run the jungle, and if you don't know me, I'm a hangry animal, and you know that I'm hungry. We got zebras, we got gorillas, and if you try to sell, then it's Thriller in Manila.
How's it going? Everybody good? And welcome to a Sunday Hangry vlog update with, lots of things to talk about. But I talk to myself most of the time because it's just me on camera. Anyway, hope everybody's good and you've been following a couple of the updates on Instagram and tweets that I've been putting out, just keeping people abreast of what we're doing in terms of progress, in terms of the collection, and getting mildly excited. I don't know, it's been a while, so I'm hopefully mildly excited about where we're taking this. And just wanted to share with everybody where we were at in terms of the collection itself. So I was going to share my screen and just scroll through a little bit of the NFT product that we're using to show you that. So let's go with Google Chrome, NFT art generator. So it's a cool site actually. It's they changed to a tool called 1Mint, and which will be renamed, URL renamed and everything in due course. But my collection is saved in cache as NFT-generator.art. So as you can see on my screen, we've got a fair bit of diversity in the collection here in terms of simplicity, and there's a few more gold in there than I'd like at the moment, so I've got to refine and dial that back a bit, which is not going to be a problem. But got some baseball tops, some gems, basketball, little slogan things. There's stuff like this where you've got this mask, which is a generic clip art piece, which I'll be removing because they just do not wash. I don't agree with it, and it doesn't add to the characters at all. So I'll be removing that. And you can see we've got stuff like a Spidey cloak with the head punched out. That won't be on a gold, but we're just testing this stuff out. Big old bear patterned animal print, vibrant colored animal print piece. That's looking good. Moose has got some mechanical antlers. So yeah, looking pretty sweet. The only thing that I'm finding with some of these is I've got to alter the position, or at least the layer hierarchy of some of these pieces, because what you end up with is caps, but then hair popping through the top of the cap. So there's some rules you can put in there. You can deviate it off into different kind of nodes, and within that node structure you can put only hair that is lower. So you can just group all the hair that falls down, long or lengthy, and doesn't pop out the top or peek out the top of the hat. You can put that into a kind of a deviated node, and you can only have those hair shapes and cap shapes work and complement each other. So yeah, there's some little tweaks to do there, but all in all, I think we're very, very close with all of these refined layers now, which I'm just much more comfortable with. We've got many more ideas that have been thrown in here now, having had the time because we paused. So yeah, you got like little toothpicks, you got little kind of goatee, plaited goatees, these kind of facial breathing mask pieces. They're all, it's just great. It's really nice to see it, and it's really nice to see a collection that you can just randomize and you get so many more different options thrown at you for the choices, because don't forget, we've got probably 2,600 per character, less than that actually, which means I'm essentially creating 5 NFT collections in one, because we have 5 characters. They're very diverse. You have to illustrate a cap or a hat or some piece of clothing 5 times if you want it to be the same in each species, which is not most of the characters have different traits. They have different pieces. You know, like the moose, but here the moose has a bandana and a mankini. None of the others have a bandana and a mankini. The hippo has a mankini. Susanna the gorilla has a mankini, but they're different. They're like illustrated much different to what you can see on the moose. But yeah, I just wanted to share and show you guys, OGs, where this is at. There's some crazy little ideas. It just feels very rich, and as you'll see this, that it ain't your average collection. I personally don't think so. There's some interesting stuff in there that I didn't expect as outcomes of the collection, but I'm really enjoying. Every time I press randomize, I get a completely different set. You know, limited the amount of backgrounds we've got, so we've got a plain background, so multiple colored plain backgrounds. We've got this half-tone colored gradiented background, and then we've got this starburst background. And then there's very rare ones where they are graffitied in the background, and there will be one of each species will have a portion of a graffitied wall that says the words "Hangry Animal." The person who trades and buys and sells and redeems and holds all 5 of those characters in their wallet will get a special physical reward, piece of art, and extra things. Yeah, so I'm just gonna scroll a little bit, and you can see that this isn't the definitive ones. These aren't the ones that will make final mint, but it just gives you an idea of the blend and mix of layers, the mix of colors, the mix of slogans that I've been working on. And hopefully you can see this is looking pucker. You can see I've kept the Pungent Pumpkin illustration collab that I did, but we just need to have it deviate off on its own little node so you can see it without the cap, because we don't need the cap on this one. But yeah, voila, that is a Hangry collection if ever I've seen one. Every time something new gets generated, I'm like, yes, happy, each one. And truthfully, the only one that I'm not happy with is this face mask thing. I really don't think we need it. We're missing looking and seeing all the layers I've done with the teeth and the golden teeth, smiles, everything. It just doesn't do it justice if we've got that face mask. So that'll be coming off, and we'll settle for a final collection. You'll also note that I've got Moose here, who's got random colors. Sometimes it'll appear where he's got the same, like this. So there's only 3 different colored ones. We've got a purple, an orange, and a light sort of mustardy brown. So in doing so, it's a lottery whether you get one with the same or one with one or the other. And I don't know how I feel about that yet. Whether it works or not. I prefer the orange antlers, but it just gives us a bit of variation, possibly too much variation. Truthfully, I could make a collection of 25,000 NFTs out of this because of the amount of different layers and options that we've been able to produce. I've got some rarity traits in there. So the guns, the eye, laser focusing eye, the armor, all of those pieces that are truly part of that more recent refined illustrative piece I put together, those are limited, and it shows. So yeah, I just thought I'd share with you where this collection was at in a test bed. Next up was scripts. So as I mentioned before, we have been working diligently over the last couple of weeks on drafting 5 origin scripts. We finished 3. So we have 3 completed. One of them has some notes on it, and that's for Brylan the bear. there are a couple of little scenarios in which we just need to correct and refine the encounter, how he comes to meet the species and kind of fights alongside another creature, another animal. We're just trying to make sure that the world that we've created for him, that it works. So there's some notes gone back to Terry on that, and then we start work on Susanna's script. Susanna is a zookeeper before the event, so we're really mindful of creating a scenario in which Susanna is in the enclosure with a gorilla and experiences the Hangry event together. So we got to write a whole backstory with them, family, what's the persona, what's the traits of Susanna as a person, and how she comes to kind of cope with the pre and post situation of the Tarball event. So it's looking cool. I really like the way Sabrina's script came together, and we have this very much militarized story that she has as a background from her military kind of campaigns and time in service, and then how once she'd completed her tour of duty and come out of service, that she's a private detective, or at least a special ops kind of individual. So there's some really nice backstory and coping with transitioning from a human to a human stroke zebra hybrid. That's going to be tough on anybody. So we're trying to ground some of the things we're talking about and doing in a real world scenario where if you were merged with a zebra, how would you cope with that? If you as a personality were used to being tested on, being in the military, then you take that kind of back seat of going, do you know what, I need to just be rational about what's happening. So we've written in some ideas around how Sabrina would cope with that, and it's really cool how all of the 5 stories actually connect together as one piece, and they cross paths during parts of the comic and the stories. So yeah, looking forward to that. And I met with two artists, Mike Williams, and also with a UK-based comic artist called Jason Cardy, who does a lot of work for Capcom. So it's all Mortal Kombat and Transformers and a couple of Marvel kind of publications. But I'm speaking to him about the possibility of working on the comics with me, so we can get some more momentum. So I don't know if you've seen on socials where I've been sharing this sort of like the moose kind of illustrations. How else can we? Here we go. So you can see that where Gorilla Susanna's looking at the fallout in bottom left-hand corner. Oh, it's very tricky to do this, isn't it? I can turn off the thing, can't I? Background video. Choose virtual background. Let's do that. Hey, there we go. Look at the out. There we go. All right. So you can see we've got the gorilla and the fallout by here of the Tarball event, and then this frustration piece going on, and then the moose experiencing and looking at a Tarball energy crystal and it glowing in his hand, and then realizing, whoa, this has some power. We haven't even written the moose's piece yet, but it's all building up to a fantastic story idea for him. I'm going to change backgrounds. I got some earth. I'm above the earth. How's it going? Yeah, so scripts, comics. So myself and Jason have another conversation going on next week to see how we can do that. Truthfully, comic artists are underpaid, but equally as truthful, bloody hell, they're expensive. You know, you're talking between $500 and $1,000 per page. When we write a script like this, it is 22 to 24 pages in length per comic. Okay, so you do the maths on that, where, you know, if we're going to get someone that is between $400–500 per page, the outlay on costs to us as a project, to us individually, truthfully, where we're at with the wallet, it would be a personal outlay on costs to get initially the first comic off the ground, so that we have a piece of the puzzle already to read and explore and get excited about when we drop this collection. Yeah, that's where we're at with it. So that's comics. You see some teasers of the hippo and the zebra and the moose CGI models. So we have those characters as FBX files that we can use in a 3D environment. We could upload it to mixamo.com and have dancing characters or street fighting characters whenever we want to. But the idea is that we hold out and we create something much more valuable to promote and help market the project with. Now, Australia and Jason in Australia have done their best with getting us time on camera in Flinders, but I think it's time for us to take that on board ourselves. What that means is that we're going to purchase our own Rococo suit. So it's a mocap suit, full body mocap suit with motion tracking, with a facial rig, so we can put an iPhone in front of me and we can do performances. What that means is we're going to have access to something with much more immediacy in terms of us being able to provide performances, do live AMAs as a hippo, as a moose, and collectively between myself and Coin have a Rococo suit each that we can do joint performances in, you know, in the metaverse and beyond. I think it's going to be useful to have those because we can then do much more responsive TikToks, social performances. Then we can start testing much further in terms of refining the lip sync movements, doing character tests for the comic poses, use those rigs. We can actually start recording movement sequences that can be used in the games, that can be used in the metaverse for that purposes. So that's how character sequences, or walks, jumps, lunges, ducks, punches, pulls, kicks, that's how computer games will record some of their sequences, is they'll get a performer, an actor in who will do 50 different moves. Those 50 different moves are then baked into that mesh and that character. So when it comes to a game and you're pressing a combination of buttons, the game is just looking for that sequence that you've created as an animation, and it just does that playback loop. So we will have the ability to start testing and doing performances of that nature in 3D, which is, yeah, I think that's awesome for what we've got without even rolling this out. You know, I hope you can see that, you know, we're not going anywhere, and I'm absolutely determined to launch this thing. And I think we're just patient now, and we just want to be as cautious and do as much due diligence as possible to ensure this has the best exposure it can. So that's where my head's at. So that's Rococo suits. Conversations and partnerships, you know, we're speaking weekly to many projects. You know, the Mega Weapon collaboration conversation is still underway, and we chat to them about what that could look like, and, you know, whether it's an incubator or it's a support from a dev perspective for game development and the likes. who knows? I think because we're able to video conference and meet in person, I'm much more comfortable engaging with these guys. And equally, you know, we have had conversations with Reveal and see where they're at. I think it's too early for a launch with them to have the security layer embedded in the characters for this launch. It'd be good if we could, but I don't think we're going to get there, because I really want us to roll this out in the next month to month and a half, truthfully. So, but I'm waiting for some consensus on whether everybody else is happy with that from a promotional launching perspective, and then we'll start ramping stuff up. Yeah, so collabs, the original kind of group, you know, the epics, block dealers, swappable, reveal, revest, you know, still in the mix. Have been doing some AMAs, conversations with Pi Protocol, because I think Pi is a really fantastic innovation in crypto development in terms of synthetic tokens that you can then use to borrow against itself to make an LP token. And NFT treasure hunts is just, I commend them on what they've been able to do with budget and development prowess. So Gordon, take my hat off to you, man. You're an absolute legend, and they've been able to produce something that, you know, blows my mind. With that in mind, there's we're contemplating that the Hangry collection, because Pi Protocol is launching on ETH, that they have an NFT marketplace, and I'd like to support these projects. So we'll potentially end up with a proportion, if not all, of the collection being within the Pi Protocol marketplace when we're ready to roll. The other thing to mention on marketplaces is that obviously we've been approved as an NFT creator on crypto.com. So we may do a unique special drop on crypto.com after this launch, not before, after this launch. But at least we have a creator profile on crypto.com that we can leverage. Yay. The thinking about game mechanics, you know, we have ideas that we're starting to refine now, and I think we're settled on a platformer, and that platformer will involve 5 levels, 1 level for each character, and within those levels you earn skills, and you pick up skills, and you also earn a synthetic token. And the reason for a synthetic token, it means that you only interact with the blockchain when it's absolutely necessary. You see a lot of projects doing this now where they're not actually tied to using an actual blockchain token to interact because of the gas fee mechanisms. I think it's more the UX, the user experience, when you're in and out of a game and you have to sign, you have to dial back out, back in, back out. I think the idea behind it is that you only use Web3 when you absolutely need to. And we stay away from that until it's time to claim tokens, or until there's an event that we wish people to interact with, so that you can then withdraw, that you can then convert or trade in your synthetic tokens for actual tokens in that respect. So it still has utility, it still has use, but only as and when it's required. I don't know if Nova Creed is doing that, where there's the ICE token is synthetic or it's an actual token. I'm not sure. I'll have to chat to them, but that's our thinking, really, that we limit the amount of Web3 interaction that is needed until you absolutely have to kind of bake in a transaction of some sort on the blockchain. Yeah, that's me. We have, this is super early, but looking at the mechanisms in which Bored Ape Yacht Club are used like a serum, so you can mutate your ape, and you know, different types of serums would trigger different types of mutations. There is a thought that we would provide some form of serum or tarball, and it'll be several different flavors of tarball with power-ups that are purchasable or claimable. You earn, so you play and earn, and in the earning element, you earn the ability to redeem specific types of tarball token that you can then mutate your Hangry to a more powered up Hangry, whether that be a specific skill, a combination of skills, or it's a serious mutation that they change and they morph between certain characters. So we could end up with a hybrid of some sort down the track, where it's not purely a human zebra hybrid. It could be a human zebra giraffe hybrid, and we have a mixture of those characters to play with. But the possibilities there are quite exciting to do that. And whether it's a mutate and burn, or it's a mutate and you still retain the original Hangry, I don't know. But that interests me. For a collection of this size, we may need to consider things like that, where it's if you mutate it, the original gets burnt. Therefore, maintaining an element of price floor and keeping it interesting for everybody. Yeah, I think that's where we're at. If there's anything else, I will touch base in the community and chat about in Discord and chat about everything else. I don't know if people saw on socials, we've got this fantastic. Switch this off again, and I choose virtual background. Nunsky. There we go. I don't know if people saw this moose. So this is an original illustration that I did yesterday and finished off today. I'm going to be digitizing this and inking it, and then it'll have a full-blown color treatment with a background and everything, and someone in the community will get a chance to win the original pencil work and the ink piece, and then the final colored piece at some point closer to mint. And I think it'll be based on a kind of Twitter raid or promotional piece where people can demonstrate their ability to help bring in the crowds and bring some genuine interest, because I think we've got a cool collection. We've got some really cool art, if I say so myself. I don't know, but yeah, I just want to provide some genuine rewards and utility for those that are have maintained and kept supporting us along the way. And the other thing to say is, with the likes of Discord and people bug bounties and whatnot, so I have not forgot about you guys. I have not forgot about posters. I have not forgot about the hoodies, manifesta. I have not forgot about those pieces. It's truthfully been a crazy week, 2 weeks in the physical realm of business. So running an agency as well. So with that in mind, I have not forgot you guys for 1 second. So yeah, that's a bit of an update. Sorry for rambling on, but I'll see you in Discord and I'll see you on socials. Please retweet, reshare any Instagrams or Twitters. And now equally, I've got my own TikTok that I'll start to share some personal stuff from the collection and get people excited about it. So as much advocacy and as much kind of hype that people can start peppering around the space and to draw some more eyes in now would be really good in the build-up. I know we probably need about a month and a half runway to do that. But we're going to start dialing on the taps, I think, pretty soon. So that's me. This is Sunday. I'm going to the pub. Let's get angry.
I run the jungle, and if you don't know me, I'm an angry animal, and you know that I'm hungry. We got zebras, we got gorillas.